Hey guys, this is Carl from carlsapti.com, and today I thought I'd just make a video just to tell you a little bit about where I learnt to code when or where I still learn to code now, because quite a few people have asked me recently saying what is the easiest place to start with, and what sort of websites can I use, or what books can I use, or how did I do it really. So I mean, obviously I'm not a professional or anything, but I thought I would make a small video just to tell you a little bit about my own personal feelings towards it. So if you go to my website at carlsapti.com, this paragraph here just tells you a little bit about where I learnt and the things I've sort of done. Now, under my useful link section is where we're going to be focusing today. So the first website that I learnt to code on is through this website called Codecademy.com. And this is a fantastic website which I've been using, or which I used initially when I had no knowledge whatsoever. Now, this website is very, very user-friendly, and it has numerous languages which you can learn from without having any prior knowledge. So you start off right at the very basics. So you can learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Python, Ruby, PHPs, and APIs. They've also got their own blogs, and they also have their own forum, which again I used to use extensively, in which I could post a question or post some of the code that I was writing, which had an error in it, and then someone more experienced than me would run it, see what's wrong, and tell me ways in which I could improve it or other things I could do to it. So this website has got me through a lot. However, when I started doing Python, obviously I've only completed 33%, but that's purely because I found other websites and other ways of learning how to code, which are a bit more useful and a bit more up-to-date. Because one of the things I found out about this website, which is in my opinion, their only downfall, is, let's say we go to this page here, which is, I guess, where I left off whenever I started it. And it says print here, and you're printing the percentage sign, then d squared is percentage sign d. Now, this console log here seems to be a bit outdated, because currently I have Python 3.4.1, which no longer uses this kind of syntax. So if you're using this, then the Python console that you should download has to be a much older version for the percentage sign to be accepted as your placeholder, because now in the Python 3.4.1 I can use the placeholder value of 0, then the placeholder value of 1 to represent the exact same information, just in a different style, I guess. So I'm assuming that this would be the exact same for JavaScript, for any of the other languages. It could be, I could be wrong, but that's what I feel. Obviously I only started JavaScript here initially 10 months ago, but I never progressed with it because I've learnt it somewhere else. So remember, another thing you should remember is don't always stick to the same website, because if you get confused and you can't progress, try a different website and go to where you are. And if you can find a new way of doing it, then you can still progress on on Codecademy. So the next website I'm going to show you is, check this one out, Learn Street. Again, this is another website where you can learn to code, and you've got different kinds of courses. You've got projects, and it says teach. So I'm assuming you can teach your own course to students, and then so this can be uploading it online, and then your students can go to access it. Personally, I quite like this. It's a bit more up to date. It's a bit more user friendly, and the only disadvantage is, well, there's only 3 languages you can learn, whereas on Codecademy, I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 languages you can learn right there, whereas only here there's only 3. And there are slightly fewer exercises. Obviously, in this website, I guess it focuses more on Ruby rather than JavaScript or Python, because there just seems to be a lot more videos, or there seems to be some videos, but plenty more exercises, so probably it's a bit more complex. because Ruby is another coding language which I intend on learning fairly shortly through this summer. Okay, so again, you get different kinds of projects which you can set up. I guess you have to log in and then you can go ahead and access the projects. There are numerous kinds of projects, even on Codecademy, which is one of the things that I found most beneficial to me when learning how to code, because you're given tiny little tasks which you are asked to create your own program for, and if you can create it correctly and you can do what it asks, well then there you go, that's you created your own program, which is what the aim is. Now the next website I was going to show you is looking at the MIT Opencourseware. Now this is another brilliant website which I've been using, which I learned to use Python on mainly. So if you go onto the link and you go onto the search bar and you type in computer science, there are a bunch of different courses like this, all of them, and it goes up, I guess, 10 pages. So it's fantastic. And the one I started with initially was the Introduction to Computer Science and Programming. So you've got video lectures, so these would be the official lectures from the actual course at MIT. Now I've been watching these, I've been learning, and that's another way that I've been progressing, because the way I prefer to learn is by watching and doing, by application. Some people learn just by reading text and doing it, whereas this sort of implements both sides of it. This one gives you the theory and it all on a blackboard, but it also allows you to apply it on your own, and it is very, very useful for you. So this is that. And the final website I'd like to show you is a website called Edx.org. If my page decides to load. Okay. So go on to edx.org, or just type it into your URL in the URL, and you can click on choose a topic. Just scroll down until you find computer science, because that's what you'll be doing at university. So click go, and this is the course that I decided to start learning. So I decided to do this CS50X Introduction to Computer Science. This is because obviously I'm applying for a computer science degree, so for me, learning about computer science before I go to university seems much more helpful. Now, the introduction on this one is through C, C++, they do JavaScript, and probably a whole bunch of other courses. So you can click on Access the Courseware, and then you can have a look at this website. So there are 12 weeks in this one, but there are also other courses that you can pick from, because obviously this is just a website, so there are loads and loads of different courses, and these are all from the top institutions. For example, the computer science one is from Harvard, and that's what I find most interesting. Again, all you have to do is just sign up or log in if you've already got an EDX account for different websites. I was recommended this website by a friend of mine, and it is absolutely brilliant. And you can download all the transcripts, you can download all the lectures, you can download absolutely everything. There are walkthrough guides, there are applications which you can download, so you actually feel like you're listening and watching the lecture, like you're actually there and participating. The one advantage of this website is that EDX offers you the chance to not only audit the course for free and just learn for fun at your own pace, but it also allows you to get special credits for a price. So if you pay, I don't know, $99 or something, you can earn yourself Harvard credits directly. And once you get the Harvard credits, you can get certificates and etc. etc. Personally, I'm just auditing these courses because I have no need to get the certificates or anything. But that's all there really is to it. So, I mean, obviously there are absolutely hundreds and hundreds of different websites which you can use to code, to learn to code, and I would really like to see what other people have been doing. So if you tell me where you've been coding in this comment section down below, that would be quite appreciative. Or even if you want to, you can send me an email on the Contact Me page. And I'd quite like to hear where you guys have been learning to code and how you feel about this course, or how you feel about learning how to code, the places you've been learning. So like I said, I started off with HTML. HTML is not the it is the fundamentals really of web design, but if you want to learn initially from how to start coding, my advice would be to start with C and C++, because they are effectively like the Latin or Greek of coding. So if you're going to learn these and if you can get good at them, you'll notice that when you're doing different computer languages like Java and Python, you realize that you have the same sorts of things like for loops and while loops and you've got very similar syntax, just using slightly different ways, but they have the same function. Anyways, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video. This is Carl from carlsapti.com.